From billion-dollar blockbusters to burning hot takes, we are coming at you once again with another episode of Popcorn and Root Beer here at In Between Media. Let's dive into it.
Grab your popcorn, dim the lights. It's movie time, we're taking flight. From the silver screen to your earbuds here, we're diving deep, so lend your ear. Action, drama, comedy, gold. Stories fresh and classics old. We'll break it down, scene by scene. From indie gems to Hollywood dreams. Roll the credits, let's begin. Talking movies, where do we fit in? Heroes, villains, twists and turns. The love for cinema always burns. Roll the credits, it's time to see what makes the movies magic for you and me.
What is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Popcorn and Root Beer, and I am joined by the two best in the business on one side of me, standing in the kind of dark blue corner. We won't go into how much they weigh because that's rude. Trash Sandwiches, how are you? You're muted.
Ooh, I'm so sorry.
okay.
I am hype. That opening music gets me going, and every time I hear that, I kind of picture us as like it's like our TV intro song, and we're like a little superhero cartoon. I don't know. I feel like maybe we need to add some little. But I am
I'm ready.
Great. Let's do it. I'm fabulous. I am really excited to be here tonight. I went through a lot to get here, but
always fighting. It always seems like there's something that like all three of us have to like this show.
Yep.
Like it's almost like the universe doesn't want us to put this show on, and I don't know if it's because we're promoting like degenerate gambling or what. But we're good at it, and we're making you money, and I think Big Movie just doesn't want us to help you out.
And yet the show must go on. Here we are.
It will always go on. And then fighting out of the other corner, he is blue-eyed, and his wall somewhat matches my color blindness here, so they look the same. Jake, what's going on?
I wanted you to get into my weight. I had a whole joke that I'm 6'5", 255. Not actually. I'm only 5'10", like 180. So I definitely can look more intimidating if I say that. And then people meet me and they're like, "Oh, you're tiny." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, no, you know what? I got such a good compliment early on in my relationship, before we met in person. So when we were first in that like talking stage, my boyfriend thought I was tall. Just on pure vibes alone. And I had to then disappoint him that I wasn't. But it was a really nice compliment. My name is Steve. My name is Steve. Sorry, guys. We're gonna keep on plugging along here. My name is Steve. I am your host for this show tonight. We are super excited. But I have to start us on a somber note. Sadly, we lost a legend this week. The great Val Kilmer unfortunately passed away. He had battled a myriad of illnesses. So we wanted to take a moment and just kind of update you on the fact that did happen if you have kind of not been in the pop culture sphere. And unfortunately, we did lose a legend like Val Kilmer. Do you guys have a favorite Val Kilmer movie?
I don't like most Val Kilmer movies, but I do really enjoy Heat.
Heat's good. I like
Heat's
Heat.
Classic.
I do
very
like
underrated movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think Heat is actually very underrated. I always did enjoy his Batman movie. I'm a Tim Burton guy, so I kind of like always get into it. But yeah, I would say that or Tombstone. Tombstone's probably up there for my favorite Val Kilmer movie. And then this is a comment I just didn't expect to see at all. I don't know if any of us are.
I'm definitely beer.
I guess that would make me
that
popcorn.
Makes me popcorn.
I guess that fits because I am pretty salty just about like life.
Well, also like when your hair's dyed, the color's pretty similar.
Yeah,
I look like an alcoholic, so definitely beer.
I think it's the mustache.
And Trash has a flower on their lapel or their collar, so roots.
I know, I'm always very like, yeah. I feel Rudy.
Just ignore that Steve also definitely has a flower on his shirt, but
a lot of them actually. It's a very floral shirt.
I mean the
Mr. Scampers, how are you? Saying
hey.
holy intro.
What's
What's up, peeps?
Scampers?
Hello
Ooh.
to you, Scampers, and to the whole IBT family. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the support early on in our show's little life here. If you could, if you enjoy our movie takes, or even if you don't like our movie takes, but you just want to be reminded that once a week or once every other week, you get to come here and just beat the shit out of us, and we can't really do anything because we need your subscription. Hit that subscribe button because it'll remind you that we're here, and you could just absolutely smack us around and share
It's
your
true.
takes. Scampers likes
You
kiss
always
kiss
call
bang
us out
bang.
on the takes.
I noticed none of us picked Top Gun as our favorite Val Kilmer movie, which I'm very proud of us. Go team.
It's a great movie. It's not a Val Kilmer movie. He's not
I-
the star. I don't care what anybody says. He's the worst part of the
I've
movie.
like maybe seen it once ages ago. I don't
I
think I've
am
seen many
pretty-
Val Kilmer movies.
I am pretty out overall on Top Gun, but the comments are rolling in. Jamie says hi.
What's up, Jamie?
Stick around, guys. We are about to dive into some Kalshi cuts now, and we want you to play along with us. We're going to lay down our bets. You guys tell us if we're right or wrong. Let's hit it.
Under the neon lights where the shadows dance, we ride the rhythm, take a chance. Blades of sound slicing through the night. Kalshi cuts, bringing fire to the fight. Kalshi cuts, sharp and clean, carving paths in a midnight dream. Feel the beat, let the echoes rise in the heart of the city.
This is Kalshi Cuts, where the three of us each pick one bet that Kalshi has posted for a future movie line, usually Rotten Tomatoes for me and my co-host. We tend to get a little squirrely with it. You get a little fancy. Y'all play around, but it seems like I think the three of us hung around the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oh no, Trash didn't again.
I didn't. I did a movie though.
You did a movie this time. All right, we're getting a little bit more Val Kilmer love. Tombstone. I'm with you, Jamie. That is a great one. Craig saying the island of Dr. Moreau due to the beautiful mess that was. It was a beautiful mess. I love a good beautiful mess movie. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
Like we could all watch like The Room, right? And like just be like, what a piece of art.
It's a trip.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Just a wonderful, wonderful time. We only had one movie clear last week on our decisions. Unfortunately, we weren't even able to put it on air because our guy wasn't with us. But Jake,
Yeah.
with a dub from the cheap seats. Warfare did go over 80% Rotten Tomatoes. Jake with one of them Steph Curry threes from long distance.
And we gave you the shout out.
And drains it.
It's one of those like the puck toss contests at at the hockey arenas.
Oh yeah.
I did it from the rafters though. I was true nosebleeds. My nose definitely was not bleeding, but something was coming. I was sick, couldn't be here, but I still hit the bet, and that's what we call a win.
Crushed
We
it.
appreciate you.
Love that. Trash, you are the only one who didn't do a Rotten Tomatoes score, so we're gonna make you go first. That's your punishment.
Okay.
Lay it
fine.
out there for us.
We'll do it. My prediction is that there will be a third Mamma Mia announced in 2025. I am taking the yes on this. I've been eyeing this for like a while. I have to say there weren't like too many Rotten Tomatoes lines, too many other ones with movies coming out that I was like, oh, I love that. So I went a little different here. I do, but I love Mamma Mia. I think Mamma Mia is like a 9.5 out of 10 franchise. And I am really excited. And they've been teasing this for ages and like it needs to happen. The half star is Pierce Brosnan's singing voice. He needs to be dubbed over. They need to make a version in which it is anybody else singing for him.
But him.
He knocks it down. It's you know what I'm talking about. It's like
I do.
Noticeable.
I like Pierce Brosnan,
But no, and I like him as an actor, and I think he's great overall. It's like literally you just need to auto-tune him a little more. So hopefully they do that for this one. But I do think that we're gonna get this. They've been teasing this, like I want to say pretty intensely since like maybe 2023. A lot of hype in 2024 that was picking up, and I think 2025 could be the year. I think Meryl Streep is back in on this one too. I do believe that has been kind of out there in the rumors. So
I mean, I think give me as many as they want, honestly. Like, and I won't
oh yeah,
complain. I mean, ABBA has a pretty expansive catalog. I don't know what story they're going to tell next, but I mean, they seem to do a pretty good job with it. Jake, what do you think? You want another Mamma Mia?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
All right, there you go.
sounds like it'll
Yeah.
be a good
here we go
time,
again.
and that's really all I can ask for.
Honestly, why not is probably the best answer for a kind of like for a third movie of this. Like, why wouldn't
Yeah,
you
why
want it?
not?
And
Yeah,
they're like, why not? Just keep going. I don't care. Honestly, at this point, this might be a hot take. Like, you could do any franchise. Like, any franchise could just keep going. Like, and I'm usually like, all right, like as long as it's not like
it's a good
changing the
franchise.
format of what it's doing. As long as like a franchise like this, there's no reason not to, right? It's just, do you like ABBA
oh, yeah.
music? It's like,
I was
yeah,
gonna say, like, there's certain, like, I don't need another Mission Impossible. We've talked about that
The Fast
Yeah,
and the
on
Furious.
length before.
yeah.
No, I
don't
need another one because I got to know what happened. I got to see. They got to at least conclude the
Oh, sorry,
storyline for Fast 10. Now
Yeah.
I'm stuck caring for one more, which sucks. But
I just,
Apologies.
I don't know if I'm actually gonna go see the new Mission Impossible in theaters. That might be
I'm
I'll wait for it to come out kind of deal because I'm really done. After that last one, I thought it was awful. I'm not gonna go sit
Well, and
through
if
that
this
in
is the
theaters. I don't think.
sequel to it, yeah.
That's the thing is this is a sequel. It's
However,
gonna be like 3 hours long.
Mamma Mia, give me all of them.
All of
here
them.
we
I'll
go
be there.
again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jake, what's your call she cut this week? What's your pick?
Yeah, so I'm going with the up and coming Michael B. Jordan period supernatural natural movie Sinners over 80 on Rotten Tomatoes. Getting in at this at a really good time. This movie opened with the Kalshi forecast for it around 77. The forecast is already predicting up to like 87, 88. It's kind of hovering right in between there now. So a lot of people are really really looking forward to this movie. The anticipation is really high for it. You get Michael B. Jordan playing two characters, twin brothers. It's supernatural in the 1930s. Haley Steinfeld's in it. I mean,
I
what
don't
love.
I don't like when characters play two roles in the same movie.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
then we
weird
don't
thing
get
for me.
but then we don't get the legendary Lindsay Lohan quote.
I was gonna say like Parent Trap. Who are you giving that to,
That's-
Steve? I think if
that-
you do it well, and I think this has the potential to be done well.
I think Parent Trap worked because none of us have watched it as like an adult. I think if you
No,
rewatch
are you
that
kidding
movie
me?
now,
I watch
it doesn't-
Parent Trap like once
that movie,
every few
that,
months.
all right, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. That movie makes no fucking sense. That's a bad movie. You're telling me these parents just looked at each other and said, I don't like you anymore, so I'm gonna take one of the kids. You can have the other kid, and we'll never tell them about the other's existence. They're identical twin, and they just left.
You act like
It
that
was a-
doesn't sound feasible.
It's
I mean, it was a
pretty
terrible
insane.
solution, and they all knew it. However, it's a fantastic movie, and you should go rewatch it because
And
I am
The
out on it.
producers didn't even know that Lindsay Lohan didn't have a twin. And then to which she responded, sounds like you should have paid me double.
How'd they not know she didn't have
I
a
hope
twin?
Michael B. Jordan is getting double.
He better. It's got like a $90 million budget. That had to go somewhere.
Fair.
Yeah, I can't with that. I will round us out here with my pick. I am not as bold as Jake to take something that's going to go over 80 again. Jake is laying on those hard lines. I'm going to stick with Rami Malek. The amateur Rotten Tomato score over 60. I've seen the preview for it a few times now in theaters. It looks like the kind of movie I would enjoy. Truly, I'm like, you know what? It's a good spy thriller. Very Taken-esque, but I think with a little bit higher production value and a little bit better. Well, not that Liam Neeson was bad, but everything around him was kind of like weak. But with Rami Malek and John Barenthal and then Lawrence Fishburne rounding out this cast, I think this has a pretty good chance to go over 60% Rotten Tomatoes. Either that or the script is such garbage that it'll drag the whole movie down. But I think a lot would have to go wrong for this movie not to hit over 60%.
It's a really solid cast.
That's a
based on
great
a book.
cast, right?
So hopefully the
I
script
like
is
that.
horrid.
I like that. I like that. You know what, though? That's such a crapshoot, too, right? Based on a book. And you're like, yeah. Like, especially if you've read the book. Great.
Well,
Robert
they made
Littell's a
this
great
movie.
author.
They did make a movie of it like back in the 80s too, I think, right?
Did they? Is this a remake?
I'm pretty sure because I feel like we had this conversation with Seth. I don't know. I googled it, and Google said it was a remake,
The
but like
book
way
came
long
out
ago,
in
not like a.
81.
Okay,
Jake, our research guy, is on this.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
know.
I don't know if it doesn't
If you
look
make
like they
any
made
claim,
another one.
I'm saying this for the
Or
audience.
maybe I'm
If we
wrong.
make any
Anyway.
claim on here, like ever, we'll be like, this movie came out in 1972, and I think it came out in July. Jake has already typed in. He's like, what month did this guy? Like, he absolutely like. If he wasn't on the show, I would keep him as like a producer in the background and just have him fact checking everything I'm saying.
I'm our Jamie from.
Yeah. Yeah, you just like it's just constant. Like he's like, I'll look it up. I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
It's my ADHD. I have to know.
He has to know.
We appreciate the fact checking.
Yeah. So if you Google like if you search Robert Littell,
yeah,
it shows under his IMDb that it came out in 1981, but that was the book, not the movie. This is the adaptation of the movie, which has been in production since like the mid 2000s, 20 aughts.
Mid 2000s.
Jesus.
Jeez.
It had Hugh Jackman.
Well, that script better be good.
Now I'm worried, right? Like I like that's worrisome. That like I hate these movies that get stuck in like production hell. There's a lot.
I don't think Hugh Jackman would be good for this kind of movie though. So I actually really appreciate that they didn't go forward with that version because I think it's Rami Malek. Like I think he.
Well, would you agree the same?
We're across the board fans of Rami Malek, right?
Yes, 100%.
Right. Night at the Museum.
Yes.
His best role ever.
I honestly forgot I was Googling him earlier because my boyfriend was like, why does that guy look familiar? What's he's been in? And I like pulled up the eye and I was like, oh, he was.
It was great too.
Fantastic.
He was fantastic. I love the thing I love about Rami Malek so much is that he commits to the bit. Like no matter what role he's in, like it could be dumb like Night at the Museum or like Freddie Mercury in like Bohemian Rhapsody, right? And you know you're getting the exact same level of performance out of this guy, no matter what. It's just consistent across the board, and I love that for him.
He's the theater kid who gets cast to be a tree, and he's like, "I'm gonna be the best goddamn tree these people have ever seen."
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. He helped his brother graduate college. So shout out to him.
That's so sweet.
It's not that sweet. He cheated. It's a cheat. He cheated for his brother. His brother had to give a soliloquy from like a Greek tragedy, and he had happened to learn one. And they are twins, I believe, like identical twins. So he went in dressed as his brother.
That's not cheating. That's using.
Are you sure they're just the same? Not just the same person? No, it's true. It's not cheating if it's identical.
That's using your resources.
That's using your resources.
Yeah.
All right.
Parent trapping.
Let's speaking of using your resources, we're gonna lay a few more bets down now, but we're gonna shift over to Bet US for this one. We're gonna bring you the forecast right now. All right. I am going to preface this segment by saying what we are about to pick. We specifically picked long shot odds for you guys that if the favorites don't win, what are the long shots to win these categories? Okay, especially this next category, which is the highest grossing movie of 2025. Each of us picked a long shot. Each of us is now going to argue our case for why we think that long shot could win. Jake, let's start with you on this one. What do you got?
Yep. So I originally wanted to go with a couple other movies that, surprisingly enough, we're going to talk about. So I love everybody's picks here, but I kind of brought them up when we did this originally with our true favorites as some of the long shots. So this time around, I'm actually going to go with F1 at plus 4,500. For those who aren't familiar, it's the Brad Pitt Formula One. Brad Pitt is a Formula One driver coming out later this year. It's the typical story of pretty much every race movie. He was good, got into an accident, he retired, he gets pulled out of retirement. The main reason I think this is going to be successful is we see these movies are consistently successful. More often than not, they don't have a name like Brad Pitt attached as the the leading star. You also have some other very well-known cast members as well, including all 10 Formula One teams and their drivers. You're getting basically the entirety of famous Formula One drivers. Plus, this is the type of movie that is going to hit like worldwide box offices very, very well because F1 is so big around the world. It's why a movie like Gran Turismo, essentially
which I liked.
It was very good. That movie was very successful as well. So just when looking at some of these, especially because I, kind of kicked a couple out of consideration for me, I felt like this was the best kind of in that long shot area.
I also think that F1 is super hot right now. I will say the girlies are having an F1 moment. And if the girlies like a movie and like the men like F1 too, F1 has a really big appeal like globally and across different demographics right now. And I think it's definitely going to get people. And like you said, having Brad Pitt in there as well as the actual F1 stars, like I think it's a very solid bet. So I like it. I got hyped watching the trailer.
And it's releasing right before the 2025 Austrian Grand Prix F1 race. So
that's pretty smart. That's good marketing.
Good little preamble for him.
Shout out if you do like F1, because In Between Media has recently expanded into F1 betting articles and videos and other content. And I'll just give a plug because I've been editing them and they're fun. And I'm like,
I was literally just about to give a plug. Like I was actually just about to plug that.
We love Nicolette. Thank you.
Yes, Nicolette. Thank you for all you do for us. I will take the next movie long shot on this one. And it's the one that I think has maybe the best trailer I've ever seen in my life for any movie. That would be 28 Years Later. That poem that woman is just absolutely like ripping throughout this. It gives me a sense of dread sitting in the movie theater that I'm just like, I feel unsafe and I am sitting in a movie theater. I know this is fake, but it's so chilling. It's so scary looking and it's so well done looking that I'm like, this movie very well could win, could be the biggest movie of the year. I also expect if it follows through on its trailer that it's probably going to get some award nominations. I could foresee some awards landing for this
100%
for this movie, at least nominations and getting into that conversation of even best picture potentially. It looks so well shot.
Other ones in the franchise done in the awards.
They never look like this. I'll tell you right now, 28 days later and 28 weeks later were nothing like what I'm seeing for this one. Like I don't know what happened.
Chilling in the trailer. Like
I will say, like
good, but not my kind.
Like 28 days later, 28 weeks later, like consensus among especially like people who love zombie movies, even though they're not zombies, infected, not zombies.
Right.
Steve gets the joke, I think. Yeah, like consensus among them is some like truly like modern classics of the genre, like truly changed the game in a lot of ways as to how people viewed these types of movies. 28 Years Later gives that same vibe plus actual true studio support and the budget to back it up, which is why I fully agree with Steve. This was one of mine, and I brought it up on our previous episode that we did of this as one of my favorite long shots. Like truly could be the movie of 2025. It's the movie I'm most excited for this year.
I think it might be the one I'm most excited for as well. I just want to clarify something in the comments. I don't know if this is a joke or not. Gran Turismo is a racing movie. Gran Torino is the Clint Eastwood movie. I just want to clarify that, Jamie. I don't know if you were serious. Then I hope
was that a dad joke? We don't know.
If that was a joke, that's fine.
But also,
if it wasn't,
both of the movies are great.
But I like, yeah,
we support it either way.
Yeah, both were good. I'm usually not a huge Clint Eastwood fan, but that one was actually okay. But no, 28 years later looks unbelievable. And I also want to like really shout out Edvin Riding, one of the stars of this movie. Don't you love when you start watching an actor like at the very beginning of their career and they start to blow up and you start to see them in like bigger and bigger things? Yeah. And like that's how I feel kind of watching a couple actors that like I love like queer cinema, right? But like Young Royals on Netflix.
Hmm.
Edwin stars in these in Young Royals as the Prince of Sweden, and I've watched him for years on this show, and now he's in this kind of movie, and I'm like, yes. Same thing with like Kit Connor in Warfare, right? Like now I went from Heartstopper to Warfare. Joe Locke went to Agatha all along. I'm like, this is just fantastic. All these young actors I'm a fan of just blowing up. Like, go me. You know what I mean? In a
We
weird
love
way.
it.
Like my fandom is just alive.
Well, this also means that people should follow your betting picks because you know what's good.
That's right. My taste is impeccable. My taste
Exactly.
is impeccable. Trash, round us out.
Yes. So I went with kind of the nostalgia pick. I went with How to Train Your Dragon. I did think
great
about
pick.
Lilo and Stitch as kind of the other alternative to this with the same like nostalgia vibe. I don't think it's gonna do as well because, and we'll get into this like a little later with some of our hear me outs as like the Disney remake of Lilo and Stitch,
Mhm.
and I think it still could be really good. But if you're kind of thinking about, well, for one, the trailer, like I think that might be kind of ruining Pleakley and Jumba, and like I hate that. The queer icons, don't take away Pleakley. We need Pleakley.
I have a feeling on
Yeah.
that one.
Anyway, but to talk about How to Train Your Dragon, that if you think about kind of all of the magic that captured in the original and just like those swooping scenes of like the dragons and imagining that in this live action, I know it's going to be CGI, but I think they're going to do a good job with that part of the CGI, because if that is like your whole shtick is just like the dragons and everything else is like
Right.
real people, like you better make really fucking good dragons.
And they made incredible looking dragons. Incredible.
And I think it's going to be beautiful, and I think it's going to get people there, like the adults and the kids, and yeah, I like
It's
it.
definitely gonna get me there because while I have never seen the original How to Train Your Dragon, my boyfriend has, and he is a huge fan, and he insists that we go. So
You'll like
I have
it.
not seen it out of principle. Shout out to my friend Brian, you know what you did. And that's where I'm gonna leave that.
I get
Craig
that.
is big ups on Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Rebirth, which I am also very excited for. I'm super hyped to go see that.
Yeah.
It looks, first off, Jonathan Bailey's in it. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and appreciate that. Just yes.
We
Good
love.
call. Like we love that. He should be in every
We
movie.
stand.
We should just he should
Fair.
just be in every movie. All he has to do is pass in front of the screen, stand there for 10 seconds in every single movie, do nothing at all, and I'd be like A+. Great job. Unbelievable.
He'll get people in the theaters.
He'll get me there every time. Very excited about that. I think all three of these picks, if they did hit and they became the biggest movie of the year, I don't think I would be too surprised. Horror fans we are a sick group of people. We have real twisted.
We are rabid.
We're rabid. And this movie's trailer is good enough that I think it can pull non-horror fans in. Trash, I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you that How to Train Your Dragon feels like it has a little bit more staying power than Lilo and Stitch's remake does. Although I'm gonna address this now, the Pleakley thing, right? So I tweeted this out a while back. And I understand why they did what they did. If they had to say, listen, because where all you hear in movies is how awful CGI is right now, right? Like CGI is getting absolutely massacred. So if they looked and said, listen, would we love to have Jamba and Pleakley looking like Jamba and Pleakley? Of course we would. But because we have to animate Stitch the entire time and make him look as good as possible, we put our efforts into that. If they looked at me and said, that's our rationale behind it, I'd be like, I get it, right? I'd rather have a good looking Stitch than three okay looking of them, right? Now, there's also Gantu, who I have seen nothing about in this movie.
Yeah.
And if they have to animate him as well, that could be very difficult, right?
I think he'll have to be animated.
He'll have to be either that or they're going to go very different with the story.
Weird gaps in logic. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm fine with Pleakley and Jamba being human. What I'm not fine with is the erasure of Pleakley as a gay icon, because I think that is such a key part of Pleakley's character, and that did not look like it's come through in the, and I just like, that's going to be sad to me because.
Although I got to tell you,
like before he was
pretty sassy looking in his moment on screen. So maybe they play it up. I am not going to write off the movie just yet.
Oh, I'm going to hold out absolutely going to go see it.
I'm going to hold out hope, and I'm going to go see it because the music's incredible, right? Like, who doesn't love Lilo and Stitch? But Anyway, let's lay down another bet for us. We are all in agreement on this one, which is rare. Avatar Fire and Ash opening box office weekend in America over under 139.5 million. And all three of us said over. That's not terribly exciting to talk about because we never agree. We never agree, ever.
No.
This is very rare for us to unanimously all be like over, which leads me to believe that the line is poorly placed.
Right.
And that was kind of where I was going with it. It was like I expected to say under when I saw so I was scrolling through and I saw Avatar Fire and Ash opening weekend box office. Like, oh, I'm definitely gonna take the under here. And then I saw the number. I was like, over.
Right. These are billion-dollar movies. You don't become a billion-dollar movie with $140 million opening weekend. You just don't. Like,
Jake, what do we have for stats?
I'm looking right now. I didn't have the stats ready for this one because I figured I didn't see until I opened this right before the show that all of us were on that. So give me a second here. I'll look up previous box office.
Okay.
That's okay because I can talk about this for a second because
Please.
Avatar is just well known to not be, it's not the story you're getting, it's the visuals you are going to be delivered, right? We've talked about the beauty that fire can bring to the screen, the colors, all this stuff. $140 million opening weekend. That's, you almost have to hit 200 million to get to $1 billion. So unless this movie is going to fall so crazy short of expectations, maybe they know something I don't. Maybe this movie sucks. I don't know. But when James Cameron puts his mind to something, it usually hits, right? Like, it's really, really hard lately for him to miss. Because everything he does is crafted in such a deeply detailed way that this is basically me. This over under is saying, do you believe in James Cameron? Yes or no? Yes.
I mean,
is my answer.
I'll be honest. That's what my take comes down to is don't bet against James Cameron and don't bet against an Avatar movie. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't have anything more for you on that.
I got the numbers here. So the original opened at 77.4 million. Which it was the first one. And then it went on to gross $2.9 billion. So clearly it was fine there. Avatar Way of the Water opened to 134.1 million domestically.
Yeah.
So pretty close to this line. And I think people are more excited for this one than they were for the previous one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the promotion's been better. I think the marketing's been better. I think the story's more clear as to the route they're going here.
A little better.
100%. So I'm still sticking with the over here, continual growth. When we see movies, I just want to say when we see movies like this that have had, that continual growth from 1 to 2, the budget remains the same, if not higher in the trilogy. Supposedly 4 and 5 are already in production for Avatar as well. Also, they are with 28 years later. They've already filmed the second one of the trilogy that they're planning and have a third one coming. But with this, knowing that they have this expectation for the movie, I still think this is a very good line to take advantage of.
I do too, with the rise in ticket prices, especially. I mean, this is not as hard to get to as it used to be.
Good point.
Yeah, I mean, things are expensive now. We are going to give out an award here. We like to give credit where credit's due, and I'll tell you guys right now before I hit this little beat drop here. I almost went negative with our golden bucket this week, but I thought, fuck it. Let's stay positive. Let's give the people what they want, and that's something to root for. It's golden bucket time. Let's get to it. If you take nothing else away from this show, I hope at least you take away that we probably I think we have the best music on the internet right now. In terms of just podcasts, I think we give you at least something that you're that was a bop.
If you ever notice, every single time we come back from the videos playing, it's just me and Trash. I'm playing air guitar, headbanging, Trash is vibing.
I'm dancing.
Yeah,
We
it's
love
all,
the
it's all,
music.
We
So
love it.
it's all good vibes here.
We hope
It's
you
all
love
good
it
vibes
too.
here. Um,
It is.
we are talking the best origin story this week. Origin story. And I repeat myself because I got issues with y'all's picks. I got issues. I got
You're
We'll
wrong,
defend
but
him.
okay.
I got real
You go
fucking issues.
first.
So mine is actually an origin story. It's not that you picked bad movies. It's that you picked movies that weren't origin stories. You just picked the like first in the franchise.
If you think
No, I
mine isn't an
disagree.
origin story, you need to go rewatch the film.
Honestly, same, but we'll get into it.
All right, so I picked Maleficent as my top origin story movie. I have to give credit where credit is due, and I normally don't give credit to this particular person because I don't like their product. Lana Del Rey recorded what is one of the best covers of any song I've ever heard with Once Upon a Dream from this movie. I will never forget sitting in a theater and I'm sitting there getting ready. I have my like popcorn and my candy, right? Because I got to do both because you need sugar and salt, right? Otherwise, what are you doing?
Of course.
Valid.
With a root beer. I get a popcorn and a root
Mhm.
beer at the movie theater. That's how the show was named. And all of a sudden the preview starts and it's dark and this dark movie comes on and then all of a sudden I hear Lana Del Rey's voice creep in and I was like, what are they doing? And then Angelina Jolie, who is perfectly cast in this role, right? And it was kind of at a time where Angelina Jolie had disappeared for a while. She hadn't really been Angelina Jolie for a minute. Stepped into this role, served face, served cunt, showed up, mother, right? Like absolutely queened it, killed it, ate, left no crumbs. Best origin story movie I have ever seen because top to bottom, I was like, what the fuck is this? I am hype for this kind of movie.
It is solid. It's been a while since I watched it. I should go see it again.
Never seen it.
I will also
Runs away and ducks the flying chair. I'm fully expecting to come.
God. It's been a while. No, it's a solid pick though. I also just need to say because and Steve, I feel like you in particular, this is like a little bit of a shame trash pick, what have you. Um, if you have not seen the Descendants, like the Disney Channel original movie Descendants, Kristen Chenoweth plays Maleficent in that, and she has
I
one
love
of my
that.
favorite evil villain songs of all time in a Disney movie. Like it is top tier.
Kristen Chenoweth could sing the phone book and I'd be a fan of it. Like, I don't give a shit what she does.
I think she was
Big
the
fan.
inspiration
Fabulous.
of that award on our
Yeah.
on the other movie podcast Steve and I have done, Take Two. We literally did a phone book award, and I'm not convinced it wasn't because of that thought he had about Kristen Chenoweth.
It's a thought I have a lot when I
You
listen
know
to her.
wrong.
I'm like, she's wonderful.
No, she is
Yeah.
fabulous.
Jake, what's your favorite origin story movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to explain how this isn't an origin story movie to me.
I'll tell you.
It's The Hobbit,
Okay.
which is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
So it's Bilbo Baggins, Frodo Baggins' uncle, telling you the story of his adventure before his 111th birthday. It's where we get, technically it's the origin for Gandalf. It's the origin, you get the backstory, origin story of Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great film. It continued the movie. Shut up. It continued the movie, continued the Lord of the Rings lore for a lot of people who hadn't read the books or only read the books after the fact and went back to them after seeing the movies. It's one of my favorite lores of all time. It's just that world in general. I have a Lord of the Rings tattoo. It's just a phenomenal movie. If you disagree, I'm gonna punch you. Now let's hear why it's not an origin story, Steve.
So yours wasn't really my issue with the origin stories. I think
Okay.
Crashes is flat out not an origin story. Like she just picked the start of a franchise, and
No,
like
no,
I'm
no.
going to shade her mercilessly for that.
I think
But-
that's
I'll fight
fine
you.
if you are also making the argument that the follow-up movies were better than the original.
I'm not commenting on that. We'll get into it.
We'll get into hers.
Hobbit is-
Yours, The Hobbit was kind of a mess
yeah.
because it was supposed to be one. It really could have been one movie, right? Like the book was really short, and they split it into a trilogy for no reason whatsoever. And It
They
was
made the
kind of
Hobbit movie into a trilogy? I thought it was just
yeah.
2.
No, it's
I saw like
3.
the first Hobbit and like no else of the Lord of the Rings. It was like pretty enjoyable. I was a little lost, so I'd say it's a solid origin story because there's a
Well, I
lot of
will
stuff
say this.
that
I
happened
will say
later
this
that I
in
didn't know.
defense of The Hobbit, it did give me probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, voice acting performance ever. With Benedict Cumberbatch's performance as Smaug
and the
the dragon.
Necromancer.
I really was like, that moment in the Dragon's Cave is really the only part of the trilogy I enjoyed. I have to preface this by saying, so any Lord of the Rings fan out there, I'm gonna defend myself for a second, because when I was a kid, especially in middle school and high school, I used to get the flu every year. And every year, it was right around April vacation, right in that time frame. And every year I would get the flu. TBS would always air the Lord of the Rings trilogies.
Sounds awesome.
And it was the only thing on TV. But the problem is it became associated in my head with me having the flu. So whenever Lord of the Rings comes on, my brain immediately thinks you're sick. So like, it just became like this weird association that I never truly got to enjoy it. I read the Lord of the Rings book. I thought it was a slog fest. It took forever. I didn't like it. I read The Hobbit. I thought it was a slog fest. I didn't like it. I don't like these kinds of movies. Like, real high fantasy for me is not my cup of tea.
That's
Trash,
fair.
are you
I'll give you that aspect of it.
I like high fantasy. It can't be too long and it can't be like the multi-movie franchise. Like, I need a tight storyline in like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours
But you
tops.
had
I
to
just
tell
don't think
the
I
whole
have the
story.
attention span.
Yeah.
But,
The
like-
story had to be told.
Did
Sure.
it though? Because a lot
Well,
of
and
walking
that's where
happened.
like
The
I
combat
kind
scenes.
of get like breaking stuff up. Okay, the combat scenes are too long. That was a big issue
I
They're
thought
that
the
I
walking
had.
scenes were too. I thought there was a lot going on that didn't
Lot
have to
of
happen. I'm
walking,
like,
a
I
lot
don't
of
care
combat.
about this. A lot of walking.
I don't really care
It's
about the
important
epic
to the
combat scenes,
story.
though.
Why didn't they just fly? Why didn't they
Sure.
just fly
Because
to
they
Mordor?
need the journey.
Why? Why do you need that? I'd be pissed if Gandalf showed up on that fucking bird.
I'm leaving. This has been another episode
I
of
would've
Popcorn and
fought
Root
him.
Beer. I'll see you guys
We'd
next
be
week.
squaring up. I'd be so mad. Scampers does agree with you though. He thought the Hobbit was excellent.
Thank you, Scampers. That's why I love you.
And Scamper says it's a long walk, which I
It's a
agree.
long
which is Why
walk.
they should have flown.
It is really long.
Middle
They
Earth.
should have flown.
It's the whole middle
also-
of the Earth. Think about
I
how
also
wide the
don't-
Earth is in the middle.
I also don't like how dramatic Gandalf is. I think he really plays it up hard. That
Yeah,
being
wait,
said,
which Gandalf? Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
Gandalf the Grey fakes his death. Anyway,
Or
Trash,
Monty
we need to move on
Python
to
and the Holy
yours.
Grail's Black Knight.
We need to move on to yours so we can
Mine.
get going.
Okay. So mine is Ocean's 11. In my opinion, the best origin story. And here is why it's an origin story. This is when the gang comes together, and that is the origin of the gang. It is their formation.
Yep,
It
she
is.
wins.
Yes, thank you. It is not. Yeah, I know. You're not wrong, Scampers.
Get them, Scampers.
You're not wrong about that, but I am correct that Ocean's 11
Oh,
is
Jamie.
absolutely an origin movie, an origin story, because it's not like Danny Ocean's origin story. It is the whole team. It's when he gets Brad Pitt. It's when he gets all of them, and like you get to see all of those dynamics being formed that you then get to see played out in both Ocean's 12 and 13, and a little bit in Ocean's 8. Absolutely an origin.
I
you have a
disagree
rebuttal?
because I do. An origin story needs to be a movie that initially, right, there was an established character that then it cannot be the first in a franchise because it goes back and establishes someone within that known universe.
No,
And
then
shows
you
you
should
where
have
they came
said
from.
best prequel. If you said best
origin
prequel-
story, the best origin story movie, it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
you get the story of the
It's the
origin
villain
of
origin
the crew.
story. No,
But
It's the origin of the crew.
So it's
If
called.
you want,
It's named after Danny Ocean, but the movie is about the gang. So you have you get
I
the
think an
origin of the
story
gang.
would have been Danny Ocean's first heist. That would have been an origin story.
but it's not about Danny Ocean. It's about the gang. If you want
Right.
my origin story in that, then it's Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Hunger Games prequel, blah, fine. It's a good origin story. But like, I stand by Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11 is an origin story.
Thank
2
you.
out of
And
3
if the
votes.
people in the comments
I've
I've been
agree, please
outvoted
tell.
on my show. Please, 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 in the comments, let us know. I have been outvoted. That being said, we are going to move on here to the trash heap. Trash, you're going to take center stage in just a second. Everyone wants to be trash. And oh, look down there, right on the bottom of the screen. We're showing exactly what you're talking about. What's being added to the heap this week?
Spoil it. It is The Residence on Netflix. Have either of you seen this?
It's so good.
I haven't yet.
It's so good. Okay.
It's so funny.
For those of you who haven't seen it or heard of it, it is absolutely hilarious. It is an 8-part murder mystery, 8 parts, but they're each like an hour plus. So it's like a lengthy watch, but murder mystery that happens at the White House. Somebody is killed. One of the staff members, the chief usher, killed during a state dinner. And who done it? And was it, the president's husband, the advisor, the Australian government, Kylie Minogue? Like, who's to say?
Love that.
It has Kylie Minogue in it. No, it's really great. And the detective, Cordelia Cup, who stars in it, is just phenomenal. It's funny. It's not too gory or like, I don't know, because murder, like I'm not into that kind of scary stuff, but it keeps the vibes good in a way where you're like, it's respectful of the fact that like there's a dead guy, but it's not too sad. It's not too gory. Love it.
Love it. And I love the trash heap. I love getting to get a little insight into what you love to watch. But it's time to piss off some people now. We've been nice enough. It's time for us to kind of break out the big guns here. Let's dive into it.
Maybe nostalgia's got you blind, or maybe I just see it right. I know, you wanna shout, but before you shut me down, just hear me out. Hear me out. I'm not afraid to take the heat. Hear me out. I'll die on this hill if I need. You can fight it, you can hate it, but you'll never say I forget. Hear me out. I got hot takes on repeat.
That's my favorite drop. And that's my favorite
great.
sign. That's my favorite background we've ever had, Trash,
Thank you.
on our show. So this is the Hear Me Out segment of the show where we either give you our hottest takes or I prompt Jake and Trash with some hot take questions. This week, I am going to prompt them with some questions. And I think we're going to hurt some feelings in the process.
We have some very hot takes, and I am, for the context, joining from my work, which is at a print shop because there's no internet in my house. And I was like, well, if I am in a print shop, I am making a sign.
There it is. And it's very frequently right. People, and you know what? I want to say this about people having favorite movies. It's okay if your favorite movie is bad. Like,
it's fine.
That is
I
I
love
have trash in the
Starship
name.
Troopers.
That's why I do trash heap. Like everybody wants to be trash.
Everyone wants to be trash. But here is our first question of the week. What is a classic movie that is actually just boring as hell? Trash, start us off.
It's Titanic. I think Titanic is boring, and Scampers, you can yell at me again about my attention span. That movie is far too long. Again, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We didn't need like the dancing down in the galleys and like all of those things. And I think the story itself of the Titanic is fascinating. And to be honest, I just don't care that much about Kate and Leo. And maybe that's a hot take. It's what we're here for.
We are. I agree. Apparently, the chat section also agrees with you. Yeah,
people agree.
I think there are two very clear fan bases. There are people who like the Titanic, and there are people who really don't like the Titanic. And that's kind of where we're at. Look at Scampers even agrees. We are on it.
Thank you.
We're just laying it out there. Good job, Jake. You a Titanic fan?
No, I actually wrote down here that Trash stole Titanic from me, so I had to put something else up there. It's one of the worst movies ever made. I would rather watch shitty Tubi originals than the Titanic. Plus, the Titanic didn't even sink. It wasn't even the Titanic. It was a completely different ship. Do the research on that conspiracy theory, people. It's real. Titanic didn't sink.
Oh, are you saying that it was the insurance scam with the Britannica? Are you actually going there, Jake?
Yeah. The Titanic didn't even sink. They're telling a false tale.
We can have
pretending
this
it's a semi-real
offline.
tale.
Yeah,
Craig is absolutely right, though. Rose could have saved Jack. That is for sure.
Could have. I was about to say
also agree.
There was room.
What was your movie?
Yeah, I actually somehow might piss off more people than my Titanic hate. I think 2001
movie heads. Yes, you are absolutely.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a terrible movie, and it's boring as hell. It's so boring that I watched it once and I just decided to never subject myself to it ever again because it's awful. It's not good. It's one of Stanley Kubrick's worst stories, and I hate it. It's not good.
I was an English, so I was a literature major in school. Crushing that degree right now, being a nurse, right? Just absolutely showing the world that I know how to make sound financial decisions. But I'll never forget being in my American Lit class and openly saying, which I thought my life was in danger. I said, I just don't think classics are good. I'm sorry. I'm like, none of these books are ever enjoyable. I'm like, what? Because I asked my professor, I said, why don't they translate to today's world? Why are they so hard to read? Why are they so not fun? When did narratives become more about interesting, like keeping the readers or the viewers' interest, right? There is a point, and there is a point to my point here, that movies and books did this where they said, we want our audience to be entertained, where they shifted from being like, look at what I can do to let me entertain you. And I'm very curious when this happened, because I do think 2001: A Space Odyssey was very much a let me flex my directorial muscle, but not entertain you. And at some point, Stanley Kubrick throughout his career said, I will entertain you going forward, rather than just be like, I have something to say.
Well, see, that's the thing is like movies he did before this were good. Like Doctor Strangelove is one of my favorite Stanley Kubrick movies. And then and he directed this literally like right afterwards. So it just makes no sense.
It was very much trying to be like a directorial flex. And I think it's like one of those where you're like, I understand the value of the art, and it is definitely boring.
Like, that's how I feel about in high school we were forced to read The Great Gatsby.
Oh, that's how I feel about like most of those books. Although I will say Great Gatsby was probably the exception.
Honestly, I thought The Great Gatsby, it was a slog fest.
I liked Huck Finn.
I hated Huck Finn. I couldn't even fit. I DNF'd Huck Finn, and I hardly ever DNF a book. I didn't finish that shit. You know what? Honestly,
the Cuckoo's Nest.
my hot take. I thought Huck Finn was just an excuse to say the N-word. That's what it felt like. I'm like, this is saying nothing. This
No, I get that.
Kind of openly racist. That's where I was at with Huck Finn. I did not like that at all. I was like, what is going on in this book? Now, I read it when I was young, right? So I like picked it up later in life and was like, obviously I'm more mature now. I'll understand it. Nope, still hated it. Still was like, I don't like this.
Ironically, I think the classic books are the only ones that I've ever actually enjoyed in my life.
Really?
Yeah, and it makes no
minority
sense.
there.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, that's
the more you
Give
talk
me like
about
a really good trashy like rom-com book, and I'll read all of those.
Yeah,
Oh, I love
read
the
all
Nicholas
that.
Sparks
That's
books too. Don't get me
That
wrong.
is all I read. I will be perfectly honest. Like, people are like, "Oh, you read a lot." I'm like, "I sure do. I have a literature degree. I have a double major in English, right?" Like that. I was so into it. And they're like, "You must love the classics." I'm like, "I fucking hate the classics. Let me tell you right now. I read rom-coms like almost exclusively at this point. Like,
they make me feel good.
They make me feel happy. Yeah, I'm just like, I put it down and I'm like, that was great. I feel all warm and bubbly inside. And that's all I want out of a book, right? Like, take me on that journey. I don't need you to change my worldview all that often.
True.
Moving on. Who has the worst fan base right now?
Did you do your classic movie?
Did I do my classic movie? I also agreed with the Titanic. I agreed with both of your takes, but I cut my own for time constraints.
Fine.
Yeah, the worst fan base is anybody who likes
Tom
the
Sawyer,
Titanic.
by the way, Jamie. He played Tom Sawyer. There was a Huck Finn in that movie, though.
Yep. Yeah, anyone who likes the Titanic is the worst fan base. Tied closely with people who like Friends.
Really?
Ooh,
okay.
I
think Trash and I both like. All right, I'm gonna say this. I don't love Friends. I like Friends. It's fine. Right? Like,
yeah, Friends is fine. I'm not going to defend Friends, but I don't understand the people that love Friends like that. But I'm like, it's fine.
I can't love Friends because I hate Ross.
My whole thing is,
yeah,
if you watch that show with the laugh track edited out, you don't know when you're supposed to laugh.
I think that I feel that way about a lot.
But that's most of those shows from that era. Yeah,
yeah. Put on Big Bang Theory,
of them are trash.
Laugh tracks are.
I mean, no disagreement.
Writing to laugh track is very different than writing just like standard comedy. Like it's very odd.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Look at this. We got just like
Oh,
a
spicy,
just out of
spicy.
nowhere. We're talking movies, and Craig just like bitch slapped the Eagles just on the way by for
You
no
know,
reason. Just
I
Super
gotta
Bowl
say this.
champion
cross-eyed.
Eagles.
I went to a Bears-Eagles game. Like the Eagles were in Chicago. Nicest group of fans that has ever invaded Soldier Field when I've been there. I see the Eagles slander all the time. I have never run into that group of Eagles fans that everybody collectively hates.
I will say, in my totally outside opinion, I think it's Eagles fans inside Philly and Eagles fans outside Philly.
That's
I
fair.
think there's a divide.
I
That's
live
fair.
in Boston, and we are well known for being like some of the worst fans. I
Oh,
truly
yeah.
hate Boston fans in general. I don't enjoy being around them all that often. But that is
I hate
that
Boston
is not
fans,
my
and I hate
take.
that New England gets lumped in with them.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's rough. I actually do have a take on this one. The worst fan base, in my opinion, is the MCU fan base right now. We have
Preach.
lost the plot, ladies and gentlemen. We have lost the
Yeah.
plot on the
Mhm.
MCU. Like, it doesn't matter what they do. Now everyone's just mad about everything. There's nothing they can do. Like Doomsday. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Doomsday is a hard reset for the MCU. I think that's what's going to happen. They are going to kill off everyone. Everyone's dying. It is going to be a massacre, and people are going to be super pissed. But they have to do it because the fan base has become so utterly toxic that anything they do is just met with, I hate this. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? This movie's going to be terrible. Why is RDJ
But,
Doom?
like
Like, they can't hear a rumor without being like, this is the worst thing that Marvel's ever done.
what are they gonna do after, though? That's the only question.
I think they're going to just do a hard reset and be like, we're starting at square one. We'll rebuild a different MCU than you've ever known. I think that's truly where they're
Interesting.
going
So,
with
like,
this.
new castings for all of
New
the
castings. They're going to bring new characters in. I think we're going to watch I think we're going to watch like
Okay.
Thor die. I think we're going to watch like they're bringing all these old people in. I just heard Jessica Alba.
It feels
is
like they
being
brought too
back.
many of those people back after, like, the whole Infinity Saga ended. Like, that should have tied the storyline for
Yes.
just about all of those
I
characters,
agree.
and they
The
should have
problem
moved
is-
on to a new set.
The MCU hit a problem with Endgame, right? Because Endgame happened, and then everyone expected an Endgame level movie from that point on.
Yep.
Every single movie that was
Yeah,
released, they're like,
which
why
you're
isn't
never
it?
gonna get.
And it's like,
Yeah.
because do you remember how like people hated Thor: The Dark World? That movie was like universally
was
panned.
awful.
Iron Man 2 was awful. Iron Man 2 was bad.
Every
Like-
number 2 in the MCU in the first phase, I would argue, is the worst of any of those.
We've gone over this.
Thor
I
2,
disagree.
Avengers 2.
but
We have. I
But-
don't care.
Trash, who is your worst fan base?
It's Star Wars. I think Star Wars nerds are awful, and I think they're
They're
really
pretty
obnoxious
rough.
about it, and I don't like Star Wars. Like, I can't get into it. I haven't. I've tried a few times. Jar Jar Binks is really, like, the big thing that has stopped me most recently, and I just don't think I'm ever getting past that. Oh, man. Making my blood boil.
Yeah, he's
And
rough.
I think Star Wars is overrated. And I think that people are like, oh my God, you don't like Star Wars? And it's like a personality trait and like an affront to them as a human that you don't like Star Wars. And I think you don't get that with any of the other like nerd fandoms, like even like Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, like all of those. You can be like, I don't like Lord of the Rings. And they're like, hey, not everybody's cup of tea. Like, I love it. And same with like Trekkies. They're like, we know we're nerds. Star Wars fans, they are so deeply ingrained that they think it's just the best thing ever. And like everybody who's been in it can do no wrong. And
yeah, I used to be a Star Wars nerd, and then all of the other Star Wars nerds made me hate even enjoying the first 6 movies.
There's a lot of misogyny in the Star Wars fan base that I am not a huge fan
Yeah.
of. I don't like that. That aggravates me. That shit bothers me to no end. And speaking of people bothering me to no end, because I am in a very rare camp, I feel like on this one. Are there any Disney remakes that are better than their originals? Trash, you have a very strong opinion on this one. And I'm going to give you the floor. And don't even worry about the
Cool.
time because we're going to go over today. 'Cause
yeah,
this needs
a little
to be
bit
said.
over.
We need to argue.
It's fine.
We're gonna
My
fight.
on this is no, not even close. And if you noticed on my show sheet, I very specifically capitalized the word close. Here is why. I think that the closest we have ever come was the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians.
That was great.
I think that was very good. And I think that as far as like the remake, the live action remakes, it held its own. And I think some of the other ones can kind of sort of do that, but I don't think that any of them are better. I just don't.
All right. I, we're gonna come back to this, Jake.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I said Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
It's my favorite Tim Burton movie. So
It was very good. I like
I
that.
think he
I liked
killed
the
it.
first one.
The original was fine. It was a Disney movie, but
Mhm.
I enjoy the remake far, far more.
All right. I'm gonna
Ice
say
scene with
this.
the Jabberwocky.
I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to offend. I truly don't. I find most of the remakes to be better than the originals. That is just like I enjoyed the new Beauty and the Beast more. I enjoyed the new I even enjoyed the new Snow White more. I enjoyed Aladdin.
Mulan?
Mulan, no. Mulan, no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That was
Thank you.
bad.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
bad. I was upset
Tarzan?
about that.
Mulan was
Tarzan
bad.
Tarzan remakes
wasn't
horrid.
I
even
don't even count that
musical.
as like a remake, right? Like that wasn't like Disney being
I
like, we're
do.
gonna
Kinda
redo.
forgot that
Like
happened.
Casper
if
Van
this-
Dien got to play Tarzan.
did Disney make it though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so no. I enjoyed
They
Aladdin.
did the Jungle Book one that didn't. Aladdin was pretty good. I would say Aladdin was like solid. I didn't love the like slowed down tempo because I feel like even though they were like it just doesn't work as well for Will Smith's genie, and I was like, I think it could have, but
I really liked it. Here's what I will say about the remakes, and I think this is where I come from, is that the music is always better. It's just fuller, it's bigger, it's more, it's cleaner, it's more energetic.
I'll give
usually.
you that.
I like
there are
that.
some of them, and like they do add some like Speechless from Aladdin. That is absolutely
so
like,
good,
a power
right?
ballad. I love that song, and Naomi
That
Scott kills it.
song, if it
Like,
was in the
I get
original,
it.
if it was in the original, would be considered one of the greatest Disney songs of all time.
For sure.
Fair.
It just would, right? But because it's live action, like I thought they did a great job with Aladdin. I was like, this is great. Beauty and the Beast, I'm like, this is fantastic. When Emma Watson stepped out as Belle, I was like, that's Belle. She looks just like her. This is exactly what I wanted the entire time.
She looks like her. I don't think she carried it vocally. I don't think she did a good enough
I
job.
thought she
I
was
think it was a
fine.
little.
I thought she got a little over auto-tuned. But like honestly, other than that, I thought it was
This doesn't
perfectly
compare vocally, I thought, to like the original, but
I thought it was a different style, but I also
Mhm.
maybe this is me. I don't like the old princess style of singing. That high soprano
Mm.
style. I usually don't like it. Now, Kristen Chenoweth is an exception. Put that out there.
Yeah.
But I normally don't like that style of singing. I always found it to be a little flat. Right? Like, and not like pitch wise, just in terms of like energy.
Emotionally. Yeah. No, I can
Emotionally,
understand. It's a little overdone
like,
in a way
for
that you're like,
example,
you kind of know
I
that
thought-
you're doing like, yeah.
Even the new Little Mermaid, again, I thought was really well done. I watched that twice on a plane. Shout out to the woman who was trying to watch the movie as I was just bouncing around to all the songs because I forgot my headphones to connect to my phone. So I apologize if you didn't get to watch the whole plot. But I thought that was really good. I thought Halle Bailey was amazing as Ariel. I was like, this is a vocal powerhouse that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
Why are people not happy about this? Overall, I find them to be on par or better a lot of times. Are there times they fall absolutely short? Sure. Right. And I think we've gotten to the nostalgia pill that people take on these movies is so strong. Like people like Snow White was one of the greatest Disney movies ever made. Go back and watch the original Snow White. First off, it's 15 fucking minutes long. Like it takes no time.
Came out in the 1930s. Like it's not great.
Yeah. No.
It did nothing, right? It said nothing except for you can die in the middle of the woods and some guy will come and make out with you. Like it was very strange and very weird. And then Rachel Zegler said that and everyone flipped their fucking shit about it. So like people just want to be mad, and I will not have it on this show. This is the hear me out section, and this is where we get to be spicy. And I refuse to allow the slander to continue any longer that the remakes are bad. Are they too long? Absolutely. I will give you that. They all go way too long. I don't know why they felt the need to like add in the Beauty and the Beast movie the whole plague scene.
Like,
that was the
they're
weird part.
going too long and they're adding things that I don't feel like adds to the story. I think if
I
they were
agree.
adding things that added to the story, like, and that's why I think Speechless does kind of do it for me. Like when they kind of just made Jasmine a more richer character, like
That was
they
great.
gave her a little bit more personality, and I think that was good. Like I think those were but I think too often it's just like adding in these nonsensical like let's go on a tangent, and I don't think it adds to the story, and I think it
Agreed.
like drags it, and they're trying to like make it different enough, but it's kind of like the like, oh, if we add the original song, then we're qualified for like awards, right? Best original song, but like it's a cheap shot, you know?
Right. No, I agree. I agree. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, but we've reached that sad part in the show where we have to say goodbye.
Oh,
If you've enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell us how good we did. Tell us how bad we did. Tell us your hot takes. This is going to be up on our YouTube, so the comments are always open, and we are always available to you on Twitter. You see our handles down below us right now. For myself, my name is Steve. For Jake, for Trash, thank you all so much for coming out. We hope you enjoyed your time here with us tonight. Take care, be safe, and always be yourself.